New York City, Miss Mariver M. and Miss Grace L. for Issues and Inspiration at PRN. And here they are.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Hi, Grace. Good evening, everybody,
Hi.
and
Good
welcome.
evening.
Welcome to Issues and Inspiration. This is Marivir Montebon. We are now on our second episode here, and I'm here in New York City. And with me, beside me, and on the screen is my co-host, but she's in New Jersey. I'd like to welcome my lovely friend, Miss Grace Labagis. Hello, Grace.
Hello, Marivir. Good evening. Good evening to our viewers.
How are
And
you?
yes, I'm good. I'm good. It's our second episode. So we're
Yeah, time
happy. I'm
flies.
happy to see you again.
Time flies to 1 week, right?
Exactly. How was your
Yeah,
week?
very good, very good. And I made a
Hmm.
lot of homework for my doctoral class, and I've
Yes.
been a very good student.
Hmm.
And also, I was glad to see you early this week,
New
Grace,
York
in
City,
the
Miss
city.
Mariver M. and Miss
Yes.
Grace
As
L.
for me, it was
Very good, very
really,
good.
really
And
busy. I
I
mean,
know, but busy
yeah,
is good,
that's
right?
busy is good. That's why I really appreciate the weekends because
I
we get
know.
to see and chat with our friends and spend time with our family. So a chit chat like this is something I really look forward to,
Oh, nice,
especially
nice.
yeah, it's live and we get to talk to our friends and give service to our community. That's all.
Amazing.
That's very important for me every week.
Yeah, it's a way to
Every weekend.
survive for me. Like it's a way to survive, something
Mm-hmm.
creative. Despite the pandemic, we're able to put
Mm-hmm.
forward good messages
Mm-hmm.
and inspirational information to our um, people here in the community,
Right.
right? So
Correct.
I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to.
New York City, Miss
Our topic
Mariver
for
M.
this, our topic for this evening is
Yes.
about safety, worship, and travel. Right, Grace?
Mm-hmm. Yes, like what I said, it's during this weekend. It's the it's
Mhm.
the time that where we plan our weekly worship to give thanks for the
Right.
blessings, especially during this pandemic. So we're lucky to have someone in our community who has shared a short video on the practices of safe worship. But before we
Right.
play the video, Marie, let me just
Mm-hmm.
mention to our
Yes.
viewers
Mm-hmm. What
that
is it?
issues and inspiration is open to any religion in our community who would
Right.
like to share information about their respective parishes.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so, do you want us to show the video already before
Yes,
we
yes.
introduce the our guest speaker, our first speaker for this evening? Okay, so
Is it ready? If
I'm
it's
going
ready, then go ahead.
to do my magic here. My newly found trick.
Okay.
My
All
newly
right.
found trick in this pandemic is to
Mm-hmm.
become a switcher, other than being a host, a co-host.
Right.
So here we go. And
All
so
right.
let's see. Share video.
Okay. So if it's
So
not ready yet, let me. Okay, it's ready. So let's hear it
there.
from Miss Rolene Ramirez.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I'm Arlene Ramirez, Christian Education Chairperson of Trinity United Methodist Church. I believe you are also belong to a
New York City, Miss Mariver M. and Miss Grace L. for
There you go.
uh, hindi nawawala ang pananampalataya sa Diyos. Tama? We find ways and places where we can worship God. However, you are right. With the pandemic that we have right now, COVID-19, make it hard for us to do the worship. So let me share to you what we do in our church to keep it safe and still live in faith.
During the height of pandemic, our family, together with other families, joined together virtually to worship God. Church activities, especially for children, continued safely. We used the technology to have fellowship with one another and learn more about God. In summertime, we worship and have fun at the park. These activities gave moral and spiritual support to one another. When churches are allowed to accommodate more people, we make sure that we follow the maximum number of persons inside the church. We use masks and observe all safety protocols given by the government. We even celebrated the church anniversary joyfully while making sure all are safe. And of course, we make sure that safety reminders are posted inside the church so the people can see, as well as being shown before the worship starts.
We don't know when this pandemic will end. But one thing for sure, the love of God and the love of our family will strengthen us to overcome all of this. Keep safe, live in faith.
That was really nice, Marivir.
Yes, thank you very
Mhm.
much. And we'd
Yes.
like to welcome Wee,
Yes, let
who is here in the studio
okay.
with us. Hi,
Hello, we.
Wee. Thank you for joining
Okay.
us.
Let me introduce we to our viewers. So we or Rowelyn
Mm-hmm.
Ramirez is the Christian chairperson of Trinity United Methodist Church in Jersey City. She has been a Christian
Mm-hmm.
educator for 4 years and a mother of 2 kids. Welcome, we, to the show.
Hi,
Thank you for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm good and thank you for inviting me to be part of your show, Issues and Inspirations.
Oh, thank you for sharing the safety practices of worship in your church.
Yeah.
So, we can you tell us how do you celebrate Christmas the Methodist way?
Like other Christian churches, it's a joyful celebration. So in the
Mhm.
Philippines, we have the Simbang Gabi. However, I will speak in behalf of Trinity United Methodist Church. So in us, we celebrate the Advent season. So we have that, and during the Sunday to the nearest dun sa Christmas Day, we
Mhm.
have Christmas cantata. So it's like a
Mhm.
big choir singing different songs, the story of our the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. So we do that. However, due to pandemic, what we do now is we are doing like a virtual choir, and we ask some families or some soloists to video their songs. So we will be still having celebration even though medyo limited tayo.
Mm-hmm.
Yan, hindi tayo masyadong magkasama-sama ng marami. So at least yung iba nasa home, yung iba nasa church. So
That's good. So,
yes.
Wee, how many people do you allow inside your worship service area?
Yeah, depende yan so kung ano yung i-allow ng government. So dito sa Jersey, 25%. So
Mm-hmm.
of maximum o kumbaga yung capacity ng yung church, ng yung building. So for us, we are only up to 25 people.
I see. Oh, 25. And
Yes.
everybody's wearing a mask.
Everybody should wear a mask, yeah. And they need to
Mm-hmm.
have their temperature check. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that no one has a fever.
I see.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Wee,
Yeah.
for
Thank
that.
you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you too.
So,
So, we is there any information for our kababayans that you would like to share, like maybe your Facebook page where they can reach out to you?
Yes, sa ating mga kababayan na nandito sa Amerika, and if you don't have any church for now, so you can go to our page, Trinity United Methodist Church, that's Jersey City. So we have 9:30 in the morning every Sunday. We stream it live, our worship, and for all of our kababayan, let's still celebrate Christmas kahit sa gitna ng pandemic. We can still find ways to worship God, to be together, and be safe still. Yan.
yes, yes, of course.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for that message. Yes, Marivir.
Thank you very much, Wee, for joining us. And
Mhm.
I hope that you are going to stay with us during the entire show that we have. It's only for an hour. And I'd
Yes,
like
I
to say
will.
some feedback here, Grace, from our
Mm-hmm.
watchers on Facebook. There's May Rivera watching us and Vanette Colmenares, our good friend Vanette.
Oh,
We
thank you, May and Vanette.
she said, "Good job, we." Thank you so much. So stay tuned and just be there, we as we move on to our show. And best wishes to you and the entire family.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
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 So with that, let's take a look at the events and services at the Philippine Consulate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last week, because we missed going to the Philippine consulate so much, we went there, Marivir, to take some photos of the
Mm-hmm.
Christmas tree, and luckily we chanced upon Consul Arman Talbo and
Right.
Vice Consul Tanya Ramirez, who gladly entertained us with an ambush interview. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. That only shows, Marivir, how accommodating and helpful our consuls are.
Right.
So,
So
okay, Marivir,
we
let's
can
yeah, show them the interview. Thank you for putting that in video together.
yeah. So let's share this. I hope this is going to come out fine.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Is it on?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay. Here we
I
go.
can hear it. So that's me
Hello to
entering.
everyone.
That's
I've been
you.
back here at the consulate for several months, and we are so glad to be with you and to talk about the schedule here at the consulate, the services that you provide. I know that you have extended it until Saturdays.
Since June 12, the consulate reopened
Mhm.
after the entire New York City lockdown in March. So since then, we have been open every day, and we have open certain Saturdays for consular services as well. So we are almost back to our pre-COVID level to serve our kababayans who need to renew their passport or to have their dual citizenship application. But one major change that we have incorporated is to to get an appointment through
Right.
our website.
Right.
Now, for the safety of everyone, one has to have an appointment, which they can get from our website. And there are some activities that we have lined up.
Right.
Most of them are already
December,
virtual. No,
right.
December is when we traditionally have the biggest celebrations in our community, which is the Simbang Gabi sa Konsulado. But this year it will be virtual. It goes virtual. We are still partnering with so many organizations, and our kababayans can now view or join the Simbang Gabi through the Facebook page. It will start from December 3 to December 11. So that's from 6 o'clock to 7:30. On December 12, the Philippine Consulate General, in coordination and partnership with our doctor associations, will hold an online forum on mental health in times of pandemic. It will be in the afternoon. We will be issuing the flyers and everything so that our kababayans can join and ask questions, because
Right.
this will be a live
Interactive.
interactive show.
Okay, so for any other updates, we can always go to the website and
Yes.
Facebook.
Our website actually is www.newyorkpcg.org. And we have a Facebook account where our kababayans are encouraged to send us messages. If they have questions, just send it there. It's better than calling us, because if you call us, we can only entertain one call at a
Right,
time. But
right.
if you through Facebook, you can send us messages. We will reply to you. That's actually the best way to
That's
reach
very
the consulate.
important.
Hello, Vice Consul Ramiro. Good to see you.
Hi, Miss Mary Beer. Nice to see you as well.
Yeah, what's going on with the service at the consulate during Christmas?
I have good news for our kababayans out there. By
Mhm.
December 7, the Philippine government will be allowing former natural-born Filipinos to go home to the Philippines without having the need to retain or reacquire their Filipino citizenship. So that means that you could go home with your US passport. You don't need to show any dual citizenship papers. You could go home as a US citizen and spend Christmas in the Philippines with your family.
That's
So
wonderful news.
I hope that's clear. No need to apply for dual citizenship unless you want to retain or reacquire your Philippine
Mhm.
citizenship. Again, as I said earlier, former natural-born Filipinos could go home to the Philippines without having to retain or reacquire their Philippine
That's
citizenship.
so good
I hope that's
news.
clear.
Yeah. So that also means less of work on your part
Yes,
here at the
that's
consulate.
correct. Less work on the part of the Philippine consulate. But we're
That's
always
good.
here to serve, ready to serve.
Maraming salamat po and enjoy Christmas.
Maligayang Pasko rin.
Maligayang
Thank you for
Pasko.
here.
Thank you so much, Vice Consul.
Hello. Thank you so much for that, Vice Consul Tanya Ramiro and Consul Armand.
Yes. Well, actually, Consul Arman is watching us now.
Yeah, I saw
Hi,
him.
Consul Arman.
I saw his
Thank
post.
you.
I saw his post like 3 big smiles. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Consul.
And
Okay, so from Consul Tanya's message on
Mhm.
former Filipino citizens who can now go back home for Christmas, let's
Yeah.
talk about travel.
Right, because it's time
Mhm.
to go home, perhaps to our motherland,
Mhm.
because it's the season to celebrate Christmas and to be with family. But how safe is it? So our guests are going to shed light into this situation and concern right now, Grace. So do you want to introduce our first speaker?
Yes. So Mariby is really getting exciting because the holiday is upon us, right? So I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of our kababayans would like to spend Christmas with their loved ones. So for our discussion tonight, our first guest is Mr. Josh Vasquez. He is the area manager of the Philippines flag carrier Philippine Airlines in New York. He holds a 20-year experience in the airline industry with a rich background in passenger sales.
Mhm.
Prior to his assignment in New York, Josh was also posted in Bangkok, Thailand, and Vancouver, Canada. Good evening, Josh. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Hi,
Josh.
Grace. Hi, Marivir. Magandang gabi po. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Good
you
to
for
have
your
you.
time, Josh. Yes, thank you. And next is special guest also is Joebert Opulencia, who is originally from the Philippines. He is he is a pioneering figure in the travel industry worldwide. He established Orient Tours in 1986, handling Turkish and American groups traveling to Asia and the Pacific. In 1992, he established USA and Orient Tours to handle Turkish groups coming to North America and the Caribbean. He has been active in both the US and Turkish markets for about 34 years. Wow. In the last 7 years, he has actively promoted the ongoing partnership and cooperation between Turkey and the Philippines. He has continued to lead both operations, showing remarkable resilience and adaptability despite several market challenges that have become the new normal. Friends, let's welcome Joebert Opulencia of Orient Tours. Good evening, Joebert.
Hi, Joebert.
Magandang gabi. And
Magandang
to
gabi.
our US audience, magandang gabi.
Mhm.
And to our audiences from the Philippines, magandang umaga po.
So good to have you here, Joebert and Josh. But before we proceed, Grace, to our main topic, which is safety travel during this season of celebrations, I'd like to
Mhm.
plug in an update of our discussion last week on the DACA, on
Right.
the
Mhm.
Deferred Action on
Mhm.
Childhood Arrivals. We have good news
Mhm.
for the Dreamers, Grace, because just this week, a judge in Brooklyn had ruled to continue the DACA implementation so that the Dreamers will have their work permits. They can continue to apply for work permits
Mhm.
and stay on status. So it's a good way for them to not live in limbo and expect for more
Right.
substantial
Mhm.
improvements in our immigration system through the legislative body. So that's good. So I remember Attorney Liesl Cobrador,
Mhm.
our guest for the first time, our debut episode. she was very articulate in providing support to the Dreamers.
Right.
So thank you so
Yes.
much to Judge Nicolas Garaufis for doing that.
Yes, that's a very that's a wonderful update for our DACA Dreamers.
Right. So now we proceed to traveling.
Right. So
Travel
to
na
start
travel
with
ka na ba?
yes, sobra. To start with the discussion, I'd like to ask Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, can you tell us how safe is it to travel these days?
Oh, that's a very good question, Grace. And I think that's one of the first question that our travelers ask these days. No,
Right.
actually, even before the pandemic, safety has always been Philippine Airlines' top priority. And during this time of COVID, during this age of the pandemic, we have been carrying out additional safety protocols specifically for COVID-19. So we have enhanced our the disinfection of aircraft surfaces before and after every flight using high-grade eco-friendly cleaning agents. Now, it's also important to demonstrate that all our aircraft have high-efficiency particulate air or HEPA filters. Maybe you've been hearing about that a lot. This is to cleanse cabin air of bacteria, viruses, and impurities with 99.99% efficacy. So cabin air is carefully controlled and completely changed every 2 to 3 minutes with recirculation systems that blend some fresh air with up to 50% recycled cabin air. And then these recycled air pass through HEPA filters, so you're very safe. Aircraft environment control system also distribute airflow from ceiling to floor, pababa siya, not front to back or back to front. So this helps reduce the spread of unfiltered contaminated air. We also provide personal protective equipment or PPEs for our cabin crew for use throughout the flight. They also undergo a thorough medical evaluation before the flight to ensure the safety of everyone. And please allow me to mention that flag carrier Philippine Airlines is recognized as one of the top 10 airlines with the highest safety credentials for travel during COVID-19. This is after a safety audit of more than 150 aircraft, 150 airlines rather, by Safe Travel Barometer, an independent subsidiary of Travel Industry Advisory and consulting firm BIDEC.
Wow, congratulations for that, Josh.
It's good to know.
Good to know. So I feel safe traveling with PAL. Just looking at the PPEs of the flight attendants, no? Sobrang safe sila at ang mga passengers. Okay.
So, Josh, can I ask you a question on when from New York, when we decide to go home, what is the protocol, the health procedures that will ensure us that we are healthy and we are safely being monitored in the Philippines?
Yeah, well, this is going to be a long discussion, but I suggest for our passengers to visit Philippine Airlines page. You have all information there, everything that you need to prepare before your flight. Now, prior to going to the airport, there are 3 things that you need to prepare. Number 1 is you have to download the Trace app. It's available in Apple Store, Google Play, in Huawei. So this is a contact tracing app that has been mandated by the Philippine government to be downloaded by all passengers flying in and out of the Philippines. Number 2, you have to book your quarantine hotel in Manila, because upon arrival in the Philippines or in Manila, you'll undergo a swab test. So while waiting for the result of your test, you have to stay in a quarantine hotel at least for 1 night. And then once you have tested negative, you can already go home. And the third one is an ECIF form, which you have to download, you have to fill out electronically through the Philippine Airlines website. So I think the key advice is when you travel, make sure that you are healthy, and that you keep reading all safety protocols that is being imposed by the government and the airport authorities. Then you will be fine.
Okay. So, Josh, let me just repeat that. No, the 3 important things that they have to do before flying is to download the Trace apps, and then book the hotel to wait for the results of the test, and fill out the form, the CIS form, electronically.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's
Thank you
correct.
so much.
And everything else will be, all other forms will be given upon check-in or during the flight, and our passengers will be guided. So those three very important. Yun lang, they need to prepare that before flying.
So my question, Josh, is when you reach Manila or any destination in the Philippines, are you going to be tested and for COVID, and how long are you going to wait?
Oh, thank you for that question. So,
Mhm.
Philippine Airlines has launched our one-stop shop facility at NAIA 2 because our flights arrive at NAIA Terminal 2. You will get swabbed there, and by our partner lab, which is accredited by the Department of Health,
Mhm.
and the test result is guaranteed to be released within 24
Mhm.
hours. So just to share, when I traveled to the Philippines a few weeks back,
Yeah.
the flight arrived Manila at 7 a.m. I got swabbed at around 7:30. I already had my result by 3 p.m. same day. So that fast, you can already get the result.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's good to know, Josh.
Yeah,
Thank
so you
you.
don't have to wait for like
Mm-hmm.
14 days, right? Oh my God, that's a lot of
Exactly.
saving of time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question now for Joebert. Hi,
Welcome,
Joebert.
Robert.
Hello.
Good evening, Joebert. Okay, so knowing all the safety regulations now of PAL, can you please give us an update on how the tourism industry and tourism operators are doing now in the Philippines? And also, are the bookings picking up considering the holiday season is upon us?
I made sure I had a glass of wine. The Department of
Yes, we will
Tourism.
have a lot of questions for you
That's a
both.
very big glass.
I really appreciate the initiative that the Department of Tourism of the Philippines had done in getting IATF to lift or to reinstate the Balikbayan program.
Right.
Mhm.
Although it was last minute, people have really appreciated and have even done all they could to do the last minute travel arrangement.
Mhm.
In the past, while other airlines have been quiet, let's take note that Philippine Airlines was one of the very few airlines that have initiated uh, the uniforms or have come up with the safety uniforms for their crew and to safeguard the safety of the passengers.
Mhm.
Before any other airlines have done that, Philippine Airlines was one of the very few. I would say one of the top three that came out with that. As far as the Philippines is concerned, the Philippine government have initiated all it can do, all possible means to safeguard its citizen, as well as the guests that they have uh, that were in the Philippines when COVID-19 struck. As far as traveling is concerned, we have spoken a lot about hotel safety, destination safety. That we have done, and it's just a matter for the country to open up. I know not everyone would agree with me, but opening up the country would help a lot, especially when the industry is bleeding.
Right.
A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people have already exhausted their savings.
Mhm.
What else can we do? We have done a lot of things already as far as safety is concerned. Now I'm glad the Balikbayan program has been reinstated.
Mhm.
The numbers might not be what you're expecting, but a lot of Filipinos have done their last minute shopping, especially when it was announced on Thanksgiving Day. So we had Black Friday to shop.
Mhm.
A lot have done their last minute booking with Philippine Airlines. Let's face it, we have the saying, tangkiliking ang sariling atin. Let's do it. Let's not make things very difficult for us. Traveling with another airline, of course, you have to be prepared with other papers. But traveling with Philippine Airlines, you have only one of the three that is expected, and then by the time you get in, only less than 24 hours, you know, to stay in the hotel and be with your families.
I'm sorry, Joebert. I have a question for you. Speaking of tour destinations of the Philippines, what are the destinations that are opening up now? I have a lot of questions, but that's my first question.
Okay, we have right now Baguio, we have El Nido,
Uh-huh.
we have Ilocos Norte, we have
Mhm.
Sur, and Boracay that is open.
I
Uh,
see.
as long as you follow their safety regulations, then you're free to visit them. Other destinations are soon to be open.
Mm-hmm.
It's like baby steps that you have to do. Open one destination as they meet the safety protocol that is established by the country. But everyone in the industry have been happy with the actions that have been done, the steps that have been taken care by the Department of Tourism, and there's more destination that is open and will be ready to welcome the balikbayans and of course the local travelers.
Right.
Okay. Robert, a while ago you mentioned about the Balikbayan program. Well, not a lot of our kababayans know about it. So can you tell us more about the program?
Balikbayan program was initiated November of 1989.
Wow, November of 1989. That
November
was like
89, 30
mhm,
years ago. It was
mhm.
created to attract the Filipinos to come home to their motherland. And at the same time, of course, that time, to help the economy of the Philippines. And the program has never failed. For 30 years, November 1989, it has never failed to assist the country in any way it can. At the same time, balikbayans have enjoyed the company of their family, the company of their friends. But at the same time, there's that family ties. When we come home, we worry about what our family, our siblings are doing.
Mhm.
One thing that, I'm really appreciative of what they have done is to help their siblings, the business, come up with a plan that can improve their lives. Balikbayan is not only meant to be, to put families together, but at least to help each other. 30 years is 30 years, and that's a record.
Right. So are there any updates about the program?
No other countries, if I may add, have come with the same programs. It's only now the Filipino agents that are enticing other countries to come up with the same program. Um, it was it was reinstated during Thanksgiving time,
Mm-hmm.
right time, and while the numbers are not what the Philippine government is expecting or what other people are expecting, there is a tremendous uh, uh, attention given to it, and the bookings. I would say, Joss is here. Philippine Airlines have gotten a good response to it, and considering that now it's November, how many days is left for Christmas, families are still doing all their best to come home and be with
Mm-hmm.
families.
Yeah. Hey, there are a lot of
Yeah.
comments from our audience, Grace, about
Yes.
Philippine Airlines. We have here
Okay.
from Belle Gaylord. I hope Philippine Airlines will be available here in BWI. What's
That's
BWI?
in Baltimore. That's in
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
What
Yes.
can you say about that, Josh? Are we
Well,
going to open there
yeah,
soon?
I hope so. I hope so. But for now, we as you know, in 2015, we started flying again in the East Coast after
Mhm.
18 years of absence. No, so
Wow.
I hope we can grow more our market here in the East Coast, so
Mm-hmm.
we get to see the Philippine flag on the tail of our aircraft being flown to many more airports in the East Coast. So with your support, hopefully we can make that happen.
That's right. So Christmas is just a few days away, Josh. How often do you fly to Manila?
Yeah.
Every week now.
Thank you, Grace. No.
Mm-hmm.
For December, we have increased our flight frequency because November we were just flying once a week. That's every
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. But
Mm-hmm.
this December, we
Mm-hmm.
have added a Thursday flight
Mm-hmm.
to our frequency, so that makes it 2 times per week. So our passengers will check in Wednesday night for the flight Thursday
Mm-hmm.
early morning, and Friday night for the flight Saturday morning. So
Okay.
and let me also take this opportunity to mention that we have an ongoing sale.
Mm-hmm.
For us, that was 759 on economy class, and 1,829 on premium economy, and 4,209 all in on business class. So the sale is for purchase up to tomorrow. You have one more day to avail of the
Mm-hmm.
promo, Grace and Marivir. And this is for travel January 16 onwards. So you have plenty of time to travel,
All
to
right.
make plans for your travel.
Yeah. So I'm sure Philippine Airlines always come up with promos, so they can always go to your website or your Facebook page to check on it.
Yeah.
Right, Josh?
That's
Yeah,
I
right.
have,
we have a good review from Lynn, a very
mhm.
active community member. He says my husband flew safely on Philippine Airlines 2 weeks ago, and she says superb service at JFK. Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you
also
for
this,
sharing with
yeah.
us.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Manang
Manang.
Lin. And
Thank you,
from
Manang Lin.
Portia
Okay.
Mariano, she says, we need PAL flight here in Baltimore. Please, we're just 3 hours away from New York, I think. So there, you have a demand, Josh.
There is
We
a
will,
demand, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
Actually, I have a
yeah.
question for both Josh and Joebert. This is regarding the recent news that non-Filipinos, those who were just naturalized U.S. citizens or um, citizens of other than being Filipino, can go back because the Philippines has opened
Mm.
itself to non-Filipino guests. So is that helpful? And how are we going to go about that? Basing on Vice Consul Tanya's recent good news about the lifting of the ban of
The
non-Filipinos to go back to the Philippines.
Yeah, and also the visa-free program.
Right. So
Kababayan.
can we hear from Josh first? I mean, I don't know, Jobert first and then Josh.
Oh God.
More questions for you later, Robert
Yeah.
and Josh.
You know, the only thing we can is for the balikbayans, this is the time that, like like in the past, the country needs you, and I'm definitely sure, COVID or no COVID,
Mhm.
it won't stop you from spending the holidays with your families and friends in the Philippines. While it might be late, in Christmas might be gone before you take advantage of it, but hell, there's Chinese New Year in the Philippines in February.
Yeah.
They're like is running a special in January. So, you know, the Balikbayan program was not reinstated just for Christmas. It's for the whole of 2021 and 2022 and for the rest of the years. Take advantage of it. It's nice spending time with your families. It's nice spending time with your friends. More so, it's nice to see the country.
Right.
The lifting, the initiative that has been done by the Department of Tourism to get IATF to reinstate the Balikbayan program is enough efforts already for you to be appreciative. Now it's our time to show what we can do for the country. And just like what another president said, not what the country can do for you. It's the time now to show, what you can do for the Philippines. This is the time that you are needed. This is the time that you can have fun with friends and families, regardless whether there's a holiday or not. Take advantage of it. Uh, what else can I say?
Yeah, let's hear it from, thank you so
Will
much,
always be Filipinos.
Joebert.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you so much. And we'll hear
Thank you, Joebert.
from Josh on
Josh,
Yeah.
what to do when we go home. I mean, what are
yeah.
the
What are
procedures,
the documents? Yeah.
documents needed?
Oh, I just would like to give credit to Joebert because, as we all know, he's one of the how do you call this? He's one of
Advocates.
the advocates of
Mm-hmm.
this program of the relaxing
Mm-hmm.
the restriction for balikbayan. And now,
Mm-hmm.
starting December 7, it will be in effect. So again, former Filipino citizens, together with their foreign spouse and
Mm-hmm.
children, can already enter the Philippines visa free. However, I just would like to remind everyone, no, very important that as required by the Bureau of Immigrations, you need to present either of the two documents as proof that you are former Filipino. One is an old Philippine passport. Number two is an NSO issued birth certificate. So those two will prove that you were former Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be required by your check-in counter when you check in from the airport, because that will also be needed upon arrival in the Philippines.
Awesome.
Okay, Josh, ulitin lang natin, no, for the sake of the late tuners. The two documents that they need to present upon check-in are any one of the following: the old passport and NSO birth certificate.
Yes. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. It need not be original. It can be
Mm-hmm.
scanned, but it has to be NSO issued.
Okay.
I
Thank you
see.
so much, Josh.
We have a
That's very
question.
important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a question from Ram Buena. We'd like to acknowledge Ram Buena, one of our community leaders, again, a teacher. He said sorry he was late, but the health safety measures practiced in PAL, he will just watch it again. Yeah, because it's been a very efficiently discussed by Josh, and so thank you so much. And
Maria,
yes,
if I can just add something.
sure, go ahead.
The rules are very simple. Just read it carefully and you'll be okay. By the time you get to Manila, the rules are well explained before you disembark the plane. There are counters that would help you on Terminal 2, where Philippine Airlines is located. There's carousel number 7. There's
Wow.
an assistance that's ready to help you with any questions that you have. All you have to do now is make your plans when to go home, and the rest will just follow. It's a very easy travel for everyone.
Right.
Yes. And may I ask also, Josh, is your Facebook page open to customers who can they message you on Messenger?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Philippine Airlines Facebook page. We have a social media team
Mm-hmm.
who attend to queries and questions through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. So yeah, you can use our social media account. That's at FlyPal. You can
Mhm.
follow us and message us there.
Okay,
Okay. So we have another
Por-
question.
yeah, from
Okay,
Portia
go ahead.
Mariano. What
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have an old passport? What will you do? What can I do? Is there? Can Josh say something?
The other option is a birth certificate.
Mhm.
Apparently, we need to follow what the IATF ruling is. So those are the two documents that are accepted right now. So if you don't have both, maybe as early as now, maybe you can already request for an NSO copy of your birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's easier than, because you've already lost your old passport. So I think that's more feasible to do.
Yeah, here's
Okay.
another question, Josh. Will you have direct flights to Cebu? This is from Vanette Colmenares, who is from Cebu, and a good friend of mine. Do you have
Oh,
direct flights to Cebu?
maayong gabi.
Ayun, gabi.
Right now, our flights land in Manila because most of the demand are really to Manila. But like what I've said earlier, no, with our presence in other airports in the US, I hope we can grow the market more,
Mm.
and we can introduce a flight to Cebu. Who knows? So that we can service more of our kababayans in the Visayas region. So I hope we can make that happen.
Yeah, especially January when it's Sinulog. It's a
Mm.
festivity in Cebu, right? Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah.
so
So yeah, I'm glad that our viewers are participating in this discussion.
yes,
So yes,
amazing.
we have a few more minutes. So please send in your questions if you have, plans of traveling to Manila anytime soon.
Yeah, we have a question here, Grace, but I have
Yeah.
no idea if this is going to be answered. The visa-free program. Can somebody shed light into this, or this is something that we can just check on Google? This is from Noemi
Or
Harvey.
maybe the Philippine consulate.
Uh-huh.
No, if I can
Mhm.
shed light to it, the
Go ahead,
visa
please.
the visa pre-program is based on the Balikbayan program, which allows Balikbayan to stay for 1 year in the Philippines without visa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this has been, going on, and it allows you to stay, of course, in the Philippines for 1 year. So that is what is being referred to that. As long as you qualify as a Balikbayan, and this has been going on for more than 30 years, then you are free to stay in the Philippines for 1 year without visa.
Okay. Oh no, here's another question.
We have a lot of questions coming
Okay,
in.
we'll just have to answer this.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the enthusiasm of our audience. What
Mm-hmm.
about if I travel with my husband and my son is a minor? They are both American citizens by birth. Any requirements? Bell Gaylord. Maybe Josh can answer that.
Yeah, Belle, if you are a balikbayan, a former Filipino, and you have those two documents, either of those documents, then they can travel with you. They can
Mm.
just show your for your spouse your marriage certificate, and for your son the birth certificate. The suspension of the lifting of the suspension for of the visa free privilege for the balikbayan is extended to the first degree of consanguinity,
Mm-hmm.
so that means your spouse and your children, so they can travel with you.
Awesome.
Okay, Josh, like a friend of mine has a situation. The Lola would like to bring the apo, the apos to the Philippines. Do they need the visa for the apo?
Um, the balikbayan privilege is
Mm-hmm.
extended to spouse and
Plus the
children.
children. Mm-hmm.
So that means only up to the children of the Lola
Mm-hmm.
is the relaxing of the restriction applicable.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the
Okay.
apo is not yet included. But I hope
Mm-hmm.
the government considers that as
Right.
something that can be
Mm-hmm.
relaxed to, so
Mm-hmm.
that everybody in the family can go back, can travel to the Philippines and be with the whole family and relatives.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Awesome.
So while that visa-free program is not available to the third degree relatives, all they have to do is apply for the visa at the Philippine consulate. Okay. So that's clear.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Josh. All right. So let's move on to our next question. Kung wala na tayo.
Yes, there
Okay.
is a comment by Ram Buena.
Uh-huh.
May raffle ba ang Pinas flight for tonight? Please suggest for my name. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, Ramil. Thank
We
you.
will surprise you, Ram.
We have
It
we
will be
have
a
something
surprise.
that will remind you of
Yes.
traveling.
Right, right. So here's another question. Look at
Okay.
this. By Manang Lin.
Mm.
When I
Okay.
I was born in the States, my parents were not American citizens yet. Am I a former Filipino citizen too? This is a immigration question.
Mm.
No, you are a
Okay.
U.S. citizen. You
I
cannot
believe
You
withdraw
were
it.
born here,
You were
I
so
born.
think
you are.
it should be the Philippine consulate who is in
Yes.
the official position to answer the
Yeah.
question.
The
So
the he
Correct.
will, the consulate will arbitrate your case, Manang Lin.
But thank you for asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so
So
let's go to the next question for both of you, Joebert and Josh. It has been almost 9 months since the lockdown, and the situation continues to escalate. When I'm speaking about the COVID-19 virus. This winter time, it's been escalating. What are your realizations during this pandemic, and how to improve the tourism industry in the Philippines? What are your realizations,
let's take it from
Joebert?
Joebert.
Yeah.
Let's face it, it's so active during cold weather, so we can do
Mm-hmm.
anything about it. Another fact is we just have to learn to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to take good care of ourselves, follow the safety protocol. But at the same time, we cannot stop living. We cannot stop. It has been 9 months already, and uh, things have been already challenged, and we have done all the best that we can. The only thing that I'm asking right now is for DOT to intervene and convince the government to open up the country. Whether the country is open or closed to tourists right now, it doesn't justify because the tourism industry is bleeding. People have lost jobs. A lot of people have exhausted their savings. A lot of people have exhausted the use of their credit cards, and some are starving. Let be the Philippines be the example to the other world that we can still go on with our lives, opening the borders. Because whether it's open or, you know, somebody who is not following the strict safety protocol is bound to be infected. We cannot sacrifice people. We cannot sacrifice economy. All I'm asking right now is let's try opening the borders because it does not mean that there will be influx of tourists. Open the borders so we be the example to the world that we can manage things and live with COVID in a very safety way. Thank you.
Thank you, Joebert. And
Thank you,
now
Joebert.
we will hear from
Let's.
Josh as well.
Mhm.
Your thoughts, Josh.
Okay. Traveling is part of our lives, no? People want, and I think we need mobility, and not just mobility, we need global mobility, especially for us who are living here in the US, for example, and most of our relatives and family are in the Philippines. So I echo the call of the International Air Transport Association, or IATA.
Mhm.
They are calling on governments to reopen borders to travel. IATA is proposing for a systematic testing of international travelers, which would permit the lifting of border restrictions and provide an alternative to current quarantine rules, because currently quarantine rules hamper the total enjoyment of traveling and vacation, because you need to quarantine yourself when you could already be doing something else as part of your vacation. So I echo that. And for Philippine Airlines part, we are ready to serve and do our part for our balikbayans, and perk up the Philippine tourism industry to help sustain Filipino jobs and livelihoods. Just a few days ago, we have partnered with Guide to the Philippines.
Mhm.
We recently introduced Easy Escapes, the easy way to travel in the better normal. So with the Guide to the Philippines website, we are offering Boracay package for as low as 179 per person. So this
Wow.
includes Philippine Airlines round trip ticket to Katiklan, 3 days, 2 nights hotel stay, and all the transfers of the travel experience. So check out Guide to the Philippines website. It will also show you all the necessary documents needed per island in the Philippines. So based on the existing rules of local government units in the Philippines.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Wow, that's a very enticing package for Boracay, right?
Right. Boracay.
Excited.
I miss
I'm excited
Boracay,
to go
Grace.
home. Maybe soon we'll
Yeah.
travel together. Yeah.
I'd like to thank our guests for sharing with us very extensively the information and very
Yes.
inspirational ways to be able to go home, to decide to go home safely.
Yes, very, very valuable information, especially to those who are planning to go home this December. So if you have any additional questions, please just go to Philippine Airlines website.
Yeah, we
And
have
of
a
course,
lot.
and our Philippine Consulate General New York, of course, is always there to help our kababayans.
Correct. So now
Mhm.
it's a little less than 4 minutes before we will wrap up.
Yeah,
So
well, we can always extend it. This
we
is a
can
very
always
interesting
extend.
topic. So,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
any other words from our guests? Any
I have a
more
question.
information?
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay,
Just
okay. We
one
have a
more. Last
question
na
from
lang
the
talaga.
host.
Yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts on how is it if this pandemic right now, is it giving us a lesson that we should be dependent on local tourists instead of international tourists and kababayan? And that's also a reckoning on like making robust our economy, which is still wanting right now. What do you think, Josh and Joebert? Joebert first.
No, we need both,
You
whether
need
it's
both.
domestic or international. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines have been a pioneer in promoting um, around the world, and it
Mm-hmm.
will remain the same. For now, of course, with all the restriction, you depend on domestic travel. But how long can it sustain? So we need
Yeah.
international travelers also. That's why in my earlier statement, I have you know pled and I have and pled and begged Philippines, open up, be the example to the world that with the right safety protocol we can accept international travelers. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
thinks that it's not the right time, but opening up a country, opening up your borders does not mean an influx of tourists coming in right away. People are still hesitant, just like the vaccine. Everyone will not take the vaccine right away. They will talk about it, but it would be nice for everyone to talk about the Philippines. Why is the Philippines opening up? Why is the Philippines in the news? I would, wait for the day soon that everyone will talk in the industry. Why is Philippines open up? We're opening up because we have taken all the measures that would, safely welcome our guests. At the same time, it would uh, it would help our industry that is definitely bleeding at this time. Philippines, please open up.
Thank you, thank you so much, Joebert. I
Yeah.
interviewed the two of you para kayong twins, ha? Now let's hear it from Josh.
I guess Jobert has said it already. No, I think well, I believe we need both. When there was a lockdown, of course, we had to depend on domestic tourism. But now, relaxing the restrictions for balikbayan is already a start. I think that's a good start for our government to open up the country for tourism, and I hope sooner they also relax the restriction for or lift the restriction again for the rest of the other passengers, the non-balikbayan passengers, so that we help our kababayans in the tourism industry, and not only the tourism industry but the country in general. So I agree, we need both, and I hope the country opens up soon.
Great, great. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Grace, if
Yeah. Yes.
Grace and Maribir, just allow me, please, for a minute to appeal.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
would take this opportunity, please, balikbayans, show your support to the country. This is the time that the country needs you, and I hope you wouldn't stop from assisting them. Your family needs you, your friends need you, more so the industry needs you, the country needs you. Come spend the Christmas with them. If not, spend 2020 with them. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for the invite,
Right.
Robert.
Thank you. And let's invite our viewers again that the Philippines has reopened Baguio City,
Right?
Ilocos, and Coron. So they can make bookings now, call Philippine Airlines, and
Yes.
plan your travel.
Right.
Our country needs you. Let's
So,
help Philippine tourism.
and it's important to be with family as well. Let's just be very careful about it, right?
Yes. We just
So,
have to follow CDC guidelines and safety
yeah.
precautions.
So now we will
Mhm.
proceed. Are we going to proceed with the ruffling of prices?
Yes, I think all our viewers are waiting for this. Okay, so but we will do the raffle differently this week. So instead of me asking or me and Marivir asking the question, our guests will ask the question who will be sponsoring the gifts as well. So
Yeah.
let's start with Josh. What are we giving away this time, Josh?
Yeah, so tonight we will be giving out business class overnight kit. This is
Mm-hmm.
the actual overnight kit that we give during the flight to our business class passenger. It's by Furla.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The
so
signature. Yeah.
the question is very, very easy. What do they do, Grace? Do they call?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Do they
call
call?
the number on the screen
Okay.
for the answer.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
The question is, which airline gives you the fastest, most convenient way to travel to the Philippines by offering non-stop flight
How I
between
wish
New
I
York
could
and
go.
Manila?
How I wish we can join the raffle,
I
no,
know.
Manivir.
I
Well,
know.
that's a takeaway question. So, what is the fastest and efficient airline to the Philippines? So
Yes.
just call us at 917-858-2356 to win the signature business travel kit from Philippine Airlines.
You have to make a
Okay.
call. You don't
Mm-hmm.
answer on the Facebook comment page. You have to make a
Yes.
call, and Grace will receive the call. The first
Mm-hmm.
one who will make a call.
Grace and
Okay.
Yeah.
Maribir, I'd like to do
Yeah.
a shout out first to
Yeah.
Erwin. Erwin Del
Yes.
Rosario is also part of the PAL team. He's
Yes.
answering
Yeah,
some
he's
of the
there.
questions in the
Mm-hmm.
chat
Amazing,
box.
Erwin.
Erwin, hello. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay, I
Erwin.
think we have a caller.
Oh, you
Okay, it's
have. Very fast.
718-715-6153.
Oh,
Let's
that's
hear it.
from Queens.
Hello. Hello. Good evening. Yes. Hello. Oh, hold on, hold on. I think I'm receiving multiple calls there. So, yeah. Ano siya, nag-overlap. So, yeah, let's wait for another call. So, while we're waiting for the lucky winner, Marivir, you have any announcement?
Yes, for December 13, we will have a community event. I mean, these are community events that we are sharing for people to be able to participate. There is a free COVID test, which is being sponsored by the JCI Philippine New York and in partnership with the clinic of Dr. Alice Almendral. This is going to be whole day on December 13 from 9 to 5 p.m. on Woodside Avenue in Woodside, Queens. So this is specially given to people who do not have insurance. So please kindly join this and avail of this service. This is going to be go to the JCI Philippine New York Facebook page so that you can register your name and you can do the necessary documentation work for this COVID test service. So that's one important event in the community, Grace, that we are telling the public to be part of.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So, I think we have a winner. Hold on.
Oh, you have a winner. That's cool. Who is it? And ongoing right now is the Simbang Gabi at the consulate. It's the it's the third night tonight. So if you want to join, you can. I think you have to make an announcement that you're joining because there are only 4 people. I mean, 15 people who are allowed to be in the premises of the Kalayaan Hall. So I'd like to. How is it, Grace? Are you ready? Oh, there is. There is. There is a.
Hello. Yes, good evening. Can you please say your name?
Bell Gaylord.
Belle Gaylord. Oh, I think he's one. She's just one of the
She's been
participants a
very
while ago.
actively
Yes.
participating.
Thank you. Okay, Belle. What is your answer to Josh's question? PAL, which is Philippine Airlines. Yes, you have the correct answer. Congratulations.
Yay.
So you just won for yourself a signature business class kit from
From
Philippine
Philippine
Airlines.
Airlines.
Okay, so let me just let
Please give us
okay.
your
All
address,
right.
and
Thank you
so we can
too.
send the
Good
ticket
night.
to you. Thanks for joining us.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
Congratulations, Belle. From I think she's from Maryland.
Yes, yes. She was
Yeah.
interacting too with a lot of
Yes.
questions a while ago. So
Wow.
we
Mhm.
will go to Joebert.
Yeah,
For
Joebert,
the
what do you
next
have for our
question.
viewers?
let me just let me just end up with saying, while I appeal to the Balikbayan to take advantage to come home for Christmas or for 2021,
Mm-hmm.
while Philippine Airlines are high, please consider also that it's for convenience. You get to get the result within 24 hours. The most is 48 hours. And I don't know how many hours are being spent to get the results for the other one. If you end up flying into Terminal 3, it's being done by the Red Cross, and so I don't know how many hours you will get the result, but it would, at the end of it, it would turn out to be that Philippine Airlines is the most convenient way to fly back to the Philippines. So, with that said, can you tell me for the next raffle? Can you tell me what program has been initiated by the Department of Tourism in November 1989. What is the name of the program?
And what is the price, Joebert?
The price is 2 nights accommodation,
Uh-huh.
occupancy, room and tax only, of course, in any hotels in the U.S. with the exception of
Wow.
Hawaii.
Awesome. Any
Wow.
hotel up for grabs. Any hotel in the
Up
US
for grab.
except for Hawaii for
And
2
that is
nights.
for 2 nights.
Awesome.
Nice.
Anywhere
Correct.
in the US. And the question was, what is the program designed
That was
for balikbayans?
no. What was the program initiated by the Department of Tourism in November 1989?
Oy, ang dali-dali niyan para sa ating mga balikbayan, ano?
Oo.
Oo. Sige, so our
Nakaka-benefit na
line is
maraming
now
tao.
open.
Yeah.
Oo. What is the name of that program, mga kababayan, mga
Mga gustong
balikbayan?
magbalik-bayan.
Oo.
So, ano
Asan na
kaya
po
yun?
ang inyong answer ninyo?
So, you make a call at 917-858-2356. And,
Okay, I think we have a caller. Hello?
oh, great.
I think I got an answer.
Okay, can you please say your name?
Oh, Lynn. Lynn.
Lynn?
Mm-hmm.
Lynn from?
From Queens.
Oh, Lynn from Queens. Okay, do you have a last name, Lynn?
Marquisio. Marquisio.
Lynn Marquisio. Okay. Okay. So what is your answer to Jobert's question?
Is it free visa entry?
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not the right answer.
It's not.
Oh, try again next week. Okay.
So, wow.
Joebert, please repeat your question.
Okay, what is the
Baka pwede nilang
program?
mag-Google.
What is the program that was initiated by the Department of Tourism in November 1989?
Hello? Okay, we have another caller. Hello, can you please say your name? Okay, we have a caller from Bayonne. What is your answer? Oh, yes, you have it correctly. Okay, what is your name again? Win from Bayonne.
Thank you, Win.
Win from Bayonne. I think I know you, Win.
Congratulations, Win.
All right, okay. Win, please text me your address so we can mail you the certificate, okay? Congratulations.
Congratulations and enjoy.
Thank you po.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was so fun.
Thank you
And
too
we
for
have a
tuning
comment
in.
here. I want to say this because this is for Josh. So, Win Deruso. Sounds Russian. Thanks for the shout out to the coolest boss ever.
Wow.
For Josh, his boss at the PAL office in New York. Amazing. Good to hear that. Thank you so much, Win. And so we have
Wow, that was so much fun. Thank you so much, Josh and Joebert, for guesting tonight. It has been really informative and fun at the same time.
Right. Oh my God. So we're
Yes.
running over time. Grace?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're 13 minutes over time. So it's fun. It's okay. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And
thank
we're
you so
giving,
much.
so much information that our kababayans need at this time.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank our guests, Joebert and Josh, and also a while ago, thank you so much for your time. And we all had fun. We all had necessary information.
Exactly.
for us
Yes.
to correct decisions, right?
We really do appreciate your time and giving out all the information tonight
Yes.
about travel and tourism.
Yeah. And so,
Mhm.
well, our way to say goodbye, Grace, is something different tonight. I will show something.
Oh, yes, yes.
Our escapade.
Mm-hmm.
So till next week, we will have
Till next
another
week.
very exciting, substantial issue to be discussed. But we will leave you with this wonderful escapade.
Maraming
Me and
salamat
Grace.
to all our viewers and to our guests.
Thank
Merry
you,
Christmas in
Grace.
advance.
Thank
Good
you, Grace.
night.
Good night. Hold on. Let me share. You can chika.
Okay.
And
We can
have
have
a safe celebration of everything, whatever it is you're doing. Be safe
it's Christmas time. Time to be festive and joyful.
and grateful and
Mhm.
safe. Here we
And
go.
most of all, be safe. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's the Saks Fifth
Yeah.
Christmas decoration.
Merry Christmas from Issues and Inspiration.
Yes.
Yay.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas
Thank you for tuning in.
every night. Oh, every day of December.
Okay, signing off from New
Signing-
Jersey. This is Grace.
Signing off from New York. This is Marivir. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.